Hello everyone, it's Pat with our Oracle card reading and messages for this upcoming week. Today is the 14th, and here in the United States, it's our holiday, Columbus Day weekend. Actually, I think they've renamed it to Indigenous Peoples Day, which I think is a great move. So, and this weekend we'll be up with the 18th and 19th. Now, I think we left off at the end of that last week with the card that was around for this weekend's energy was chaos upside down. And so there's definitely a lot of chaos going on in the world, especially here in the United States. Everything is just being churned up, because as what previous cards have told us, like the Archangel Gabriel card, and that it's part of things being broken down so that the new can enter. And it's just a time of bringing a lot of things to light. Like, you can't heal what's sick or fix what's broken until you see what it is that's broken, or what needs what's sick and needs healing. So anyways, I'm gonna do like I usually do. Let's call in the archangels for who's overseeing us this week, in this third week of the month that we're going. Actually, no, second week. We're halfway through October. So I just had a birthday last week. So happy birthday to me. And thank you to all who wished me happy birthday and, sent me cards or well wishes and took me out. Thank you, friends. All right, beloved archangels, who's watching over us this coming week? And what message do you have for us? This one feels like it wants to come out. So this is Archangel Metatron with the message of prioritize. And it says to focus on your highest priorities. He will help you get organized and motivated, okay? I don't know if you can see that terribly. There we go. That's a better image of it. There we go. So, Metatron is here to help us focus. Metatron is one of the archangels who is considered to have a human lifetime. A lot of people work with Archangel Metatron. In fact, Amanda Ellis is a reader here on YouTube who works primarily with Archangel Metatron. And he's an angel that has a lot of energy, and again, very cerebral type of energy. But he has a very, he can give you like a rush of energy, inspiration, and like a whoosh coming up through you. That's how his energy can come in. But in this instance, he's telling us to, we're looking at our priorities, okay? So maybe a week where you're feeling overwhelmed, not just by what's going on in the world, okay? So this applies to what's going on in the United States too, in our government. But there may be a sense of overwhelm, like which of a priority is more of a priority than the rest of the priorities. So he's here to help us with that and to get organized around it. And if you are feeling motivated, he's urging you, it's a little bit prescriptive in the sense that he's urging you to focus on, all right, think about what needs to come first. A lot of times all you can do is just deal with what's right in front of you. But so he's helping you to bring an order to things. And you're going to have to, this week, you're going to be in a space where you're going to have to prioritize. Okay, there's some things that I feel for some of you may have been putting off for too long. And you're just going to have to, look at everything and say, okay, this needs to get done, today or this week. This needs to get done by the end of the week. So, because I feel for some of you, you need to put some things in place before the end of the calendar year, okay? And for whatever reason, it may have to do with tax things for some of you, money stuff, but I just feel like there's some things that you need to put in place before year's end. It may even be prioritizing in terms of organizing your house and getting ready for the winter, but in some way or another, it's you deciding, okay, it's time to get organized around all of this whatever this project is, or preparing for the end of the year or the winter season or something like that. okay? Or you just, for some of you out there, you just have a lot on your plate right now. And remember that this card is also about remembering that you don't, you can't necessarily do it all, and you don't always have to do it all. Prioritizing can also mean that, you recognize the need to delegate. Okay, and you maybe need to make it a priority to delegate some of the things that need to be addressed. Okay, so that's what I get with that. By asking for Metatron's help to get organized, inviting in that angelic help, that help of the divine, will be a huge help to you. It'll help you to feel some relief. Now, this week I felt guided to turn to the Archangel Gabriel cards. I've kind of moved a little bit away from Doreen Virtue's cards, aside from the Archangel Oracle card deck. But when I was kind of, meditating and asking, Gabriel isn't, well, we had Gabriel last week as our angel of the week with that message of nurture. Nurturing yourself, your inner child. But Gabriel's also an angel who heralds things. She's depicted with the trumpet. And so she heralds things. And I guess I wanted to tune into that. But I felt guided to go to this week. So Archangel Gabriel, what would you like us to know? What are your messages for us for this week? We'll see what needs to come out. What do we need to know for the week? What's coming up for the week? What are you heralding? Okay. Inspiration is one of the first cards that's come out. And it says, your idea is divinely inspired. So take action accordingly and set it into motion. So the beginning of the week, there's new ideas coming in about the way to handle things, about maybe how to prioritize your week, or what things need to be prioritized. And that may be why the message of, prioritizing is coming in here, because we're getting maybe some new ideas, fast and furious. Sometimes ideas do come in that way. You get a stream of them, and they all come in, and it's like, oh, and you start to get excited and get a rush of motivational energy to get organized around the idea that you want to put into place. So that may be why Metatron's coming in here. Okay. I sort of feel like, so in this picture, it's showing you the angel. He's got his hand extended up to the person. There's the hand extended, and he's kind of like sending a little whoosh of inspiration to that person. Okay. So, and it's showing you that it's divinely guided inspiration. So, it's an important week that way to move forward with things. Okay. Let's see if there's anything else I get on that card. I also get, as I look at it, that because of what's going on in the government, people are getting inspired, groups of people to get organized. We may find as the year progresses, or, as we come into these final months of the year, we may see some more, not just protests, but maybe marches, rallies, things like that. To move, I don't want to say move certain agendas forward, but, in some cases it may be demonstrations, but, people are getting inspired, especially the youth, the younger people. And I want to say, when I say younger, I want to say, the people in their 20s, maybe 30s, some a little bit younger than that, but they're getting inspired as well, and they're getting organized. They're, kind of like the way the kids did after the shooting in Florida, that big school shooting. Some of those same kids that were speaking up and really being out there and protesting, they're gathering, and they're getting their ideas into motion. And I do feel like they're going to take to the streets. okay? You might not see it this week, you might not see it today or tomorrow, but they're going to be taking to the streets in a way that gets attention, okay? Not just because they're kids, but, you know, kind of like the revolutionaries of our own country. You know, like I'm from New England in the Boston area, so, you know, we threw their tea, the tea of the British, right into the into the river, the Boston Tea Party. So I feel like the youth are getting organized. They're going to be demonstrating. They're going to be marching in the streets. They're going to be doing things that get attention, not just there because they're the youth. Oh, isn't this great that the kids are doing this, you know, blah, 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 standing up for themselves. They're genuinely motivated and concerned about their future. And so they're going to be demonstrating or marching or something in a way that gets attention. Kind of like the same way the good old Boston Tea Party got attention. I'm not saying they're going to do something along those same lines, obviously, because tea doesn't have the same value to us quite the same way it did back then, but to the British, but, and this, you know what I mean? But they're going to be doing something like that where it gets attention, because, you know, they're done with this thoughts and prayers stuff. Okay. Anyway, so let's move on. What else, does Gabriel wish us to know? So that card is also an affirmative card. If you've had some ideas rattling around in your head, you know, for your business, something to, you know, to move forward in a certain way, it's definitely an affirmation. You can even consider it to be like a sign that, yes, those are ideas worth following through on. It's worth taking the risk on them, okay? All right, next we have from Gabriel, sensitivity. Okay, your sensitive feelings are your muse and inspiration for your creativity. Okay, so, you know, for a lot of you, this is going to have to do with writing about your feelings. Because for those of you out there who are artists, who create music, that's what this card is, you know, speaking to in some ways. Your sensitivity and your feelings about the world that you're in, you know, may lead to brilliant new songs if you are an artist, or a wonderful new book, or it may be urging you to speak up and speak your truth in some way. But that's what this card is about. Midweek, you're feeling super sensitive about, or just noticing that you're feeling very sensitive. You may even find that you're just, you know, close to tears. You're feeling that sensitive. Or maybe for some of you, you may be feeling like you're very angry. Even though nothing immediately in your world that day, that hour, what have you, is there to trigger it. But it's because you're picking up on what's going on in the world and the people around you and the larger groups of people that are suffering right now. And so, you know, many of our greatest artists in years past, from the 60s on, have used their sensitivity and the experiences of life that they were going through, especially in the 60s, to write, you know, brilliant, wonderful songs that inspired their generation and have hung around to this day. So it's a card that's urging you to don't be afraid of your sensitivity. Personally, as a, let's see if there's any other information I get on that card. As I look at it. You know, it may make you feel like you want to isolate yourself a little bit, okay? And when you're feeling sensitive, that's, you know, it isn't entirely a bad thing. It can be difficult to be out in environments where there's a lot of, you know, busyness going on, a lot of chaos, a lot of loud noises, you know, bells, dings, whistles, car engines, you know, things like that. So if you're living in the city and there's a lot of sirens or anything like that going on around you, it may just be that you're feeling very sensitive to those kinds of environments right now. And so, because when I look at this card, you know, I see that the angel's right there helping her, but she's kind of like off on her own. And she's got her arms around herself as though she's bringing comfort to herself, because she needs to be kind of alone to process her feelings, okay? So you may be isolating yourself a little bit or just craving that alone time to be thinking things through, feeling your feelings, processing your feelings, what have you, okay? And you just may notice in your work environments, in the places that you're going, and you're dealing with people, you know, even in traffic, people may just seem like they're super sensitive and beeping at you, you know, because everybody's feeling very sensitive right now. So it's also a message to have, you know, a little bit of extra compassion with people, because everybody's, people are feeling very, very sensitive right now. And it's also, as I mentioned at the beginning of the month on our monthly reading, the October is the month where the veil is the thinnest. So we're feeling our loved ones in spirit very acutely, whether it be family members, you know, a personal friend, or a spouse, or a parent, you know, that you lost, or that is on the other side. We're feeling that very sensitively right now. And that sometimes it can stir up memories. It can remind you of your sadness. You know, it feels, even though they're okay on the other side, it just, you know, their presence close around you reminds you of them and how much you miss them. But just say hello. That's what I do, you know, when I'm feeling them close and it's bringing me to tears. I say hello. I'm like, hey, you know, I really do miss you. I know you're okay, but I feel you around, you know. So, okay, these last two cards came out together, and it's Express Your Inner Truth, okay? Your creative work shines brightest when it reflects your genuine feelings and thoughts. And vulnerability, okay? Listen to your vulnerable feelings as they contain wisdom and inspiration, and then pray for strength to focus on your priorities no matter what. So there's definitely a theme through this week's reading. There's priorities, there's sensitivity, that's helping, and sensitivity leading to expressing our inner truth, either in writing or through, you know, it could be through painting. It could be through the spoken word. Maybe there's something you feel inspired to speak about, or a song that you feel called to write and put music to that expresses your inner feelings. But and for some of you out there, this has to do with having a very real conversation with someone, okay? A real heart-to-heart conversation. I mean, the angel in the picture is got her trumpet, so she's heralding something. She's expressing, you know, using that music, the musical tones to express her feelings, but it could also just be shouting something. But you're I get the sense that for some of you, this is about you're having a very real conversation with someone, like a come to Jesus talk. It might be like a come to Jesus talk, and you're saying what needs to be said. That may be, you know, maybe difficult for that other person to hear, or it might be a truth that you've had a difficult time admitting to yourself. But there's an expression of it. It needs to be expressed. It needs to be spoken, okay? And yes, it's going to make you feel a little bit vulnerable, all right? But there's strength that often follows vulnerability, okay? For the world, I feel like, you know, in terms of our country and what's going on in it right now, this I feel like is more whistleblowers coming forward. There's, you know, now that it's kind of been broken open with, you know, Marie Yanovich, who came forward, and the first whistleblower, and we know that there's a second one, but this is more people. It's kind of like when that big movie producer, oh God, isn't that, I can't think of his, Harvey, I'm forgetting his name now. Weinstein? Yeah. It's kind of like once the first initial people broke through and it became clear that this was a pattern for this man, Harvey Weinstein, I think it is, then, you know, it opens the gateway for other people who've had a similar experience to come through. Okay. So that's what I feel like this is a bit about this week. There's more truths coming out, more news stories, not just the same, stuff that's been going on in the news. Okay, this is more truth coming to light. Okay, and so. I think what I want to say with this card is what I said just a few minutes ago, that there's strength that follows vulnerability, okay? Come on. Sorry, had to let the cat in. I feel like this is, for the country too, because what's coming out, all right, is... whatever it is that's coming out or coming to light, okay, is going to make us aware as a country how vulnerable we are in some way, or we may have potentially made ourselves, okay? And I say that because what I'm feeling is, I know that some of our Congress people who are evaluating the impeachment proceedings have said that part of the reason they're proceeding with that is because they feel like the whole Ukraine thing that transpired with the president in that phone call put our country at risk. Okay, and so I just they feel like in some way it's made us vulnerable because commitment to the Constitution is about protecting our country from its enemies, foreign and domestic. So there's more coming out about what's areas where we're vulnerable. I can't speak it. Vulnerable. So, but Gabriel is an angel who, her name means God is my strength. And so that's why I said with this card more than once that the part of the message I get with it is that there is strength that follows vulnerability. Okay. I think we're just primarily becoming aware of areas where we've been made vulnerable. But so we'll know how to strengthen that in the future. Okay. Whew, I feel like now I need to call on Archangel Michael for protection. So let's see. Archangel Michael, what is your message for us? What do you wish us to know? Archangel Michael, thank you for being here and present with us now. Oh, okay. So he's got a message that says focus upon divine and perfect health. What does that? Okay, so obviously that for some of you that is a message that you may have some health challenges this week. I get a sense of people who are getting their first colds for the winter, as we come upon this late fall season. And so you're going to have to take that time out, maybe take some time off to work to focus on getting well, okay? I do feel like there's some people that this pertains to. It's about recovering from some surgeries. You're going to need to give yourself some time to do that. This is going to be a week of focusing upon just recovery, okay? And for other people, it's dietary. It's a confirmation for you. Like, when if we go back to the beginning of the reading where I got, Metatron with the message of prioritize, okay? Michael's telling you in this message that it's time to prioritize your health, all right? So that's for some of you out there. Sometimes, when there's a lot going on, a lot that needs to be attended to, you got a lot on your plate, it's kind of like, okay, I do that sometimes. I call on the angels and I say, what do I need to focus on? What's best for me to focus on? And a card like this will pop out and be like, focus on your health first, because your health is what's behind you being able to manage those other priorities. So, all right, Michael, anything else that you wish us to know? Okay. focus upon our health. Archangel Michael, what else do we need to know? Is there anything else you'd like us to know for this week? Any messages about what's coming up? All right, so I was going to say he's not jumping out with anything, but there it is. Okay, spend more time outdoors. Although if you're sick, you may not feel like doing that, I will say. But not everybody's in a place where it's cold or getting colder. So Michael always heralds too, just like Archangel Gabriel. He heralds what's coming up. So as part of the way probably you are maybe managing your sensitivity or feeling sensitive, one of the great ways to do that is to get outdoors. You know, I get an image of, you know, a guy, if you are a man, I see you out fishing, you know, I see you in the boat with your, you know, fly fishing, because that's your way of, you know, kind of processing your feelings and connecting with the outdoors. For others of you, this is just being around trees and the grounded energy that they offer. Okay. For somebody out there who's watching, I get the sense of the forest being very calming to you. And it's an important part of your health in the sense of focusing on calming your inner nervous system. And, you know, connecting with the cycles and rhythms of nature, which is hugely important right now, because that will help us to help Mother Nature. I was going to pick another card, but I'm not. I don't know where I put, I was going to say, I couldn't figure out where I put the cards down. So this message is both prophetic and prescriptive. There's a lot of outdoor work for somebody this week. What else do we need to know? Is there anything else you'd like to tell us, Michael? All right, this one's sticking out. Okay, so shield yourself. And this comes right underneath where this vulnerability card has come up, okay? And working with Archangel Michael, when you call him in, you can literally ask him to put a shield around you. So anytime you're driving in your car or you're sending your kids off to school, ask Michael to shield them. You can ask him to shield your home, okay? And the prayer on the card says, Archangel Michael, I ask you to protect me, my loved ones, my vehicle, my home with your powerful shield, and surround us in your purple light. So that will help with the feelings of vulnerability, because Michael is an archangel of courage and strength, and he helps us to be decisive, and he can, you know, help you to feel better when you're in that space of vulnerability. So we can ask him to shield and protect our country too, okay? And our troops who are out in, you know, I feel like that's part of this. And I want to say that because I just got it as a quick hit, that because of what's taken place with the withdrawal of troops from Syria, and now they're being, you know, the troops are being sent to Saudi Arabia, I do feel like there may be some vulnerability to our troops, okay? And to ask Archangel Michael to shield and protect them. I do feel like that's an important part of this message. So if you're watching this, take a moment right now. Let's all ask Archangel Michael to surround and protect the men and women who are serving in our armed services and who are out in these areas of the country, of the world, I should say. But at a personal level, for those of you, I get a sense of, for those of you who are going on trips, ask him to surround and protect you on your trip, like to help you get your car ready, make sure your tires are, you know, and your oil is changed and all that good stuff before you go out and head out on your trip, to shield and protect you, okay? So that's a lot of messages here. This is almost a 30-minute reading. So I'm going to finish it off right now and upload it. But thank you all so much for watching. I hope you have a lovely week. And please, you know, like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video today. And I look forward to speaking with you again soon. Take care, everyone.